Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus Newn. This is the second war of this season, and we're looking to get a win. They banned Tigra, Kingpin, and Ghost, and we are bringing in a team of Omega Sentinel, White Magneto, and Professor X. And I'm going to be on path 5-5. When we looked at the map, it just made a whole lot of sense to bring that team and go straight up the middle, take a few minis and the boss. Spoiler alert, I die again. Yeah, when we get there, we get there. But I will be taking that Korg boss. It's a 6-star, rank 5. So I was just checking the health pools and seeing if how many of these are rank 2. I'll be taking the Tuma and the Storm Pyramid X on 51. But first up, we have this spot. I had to swap my masteries quite a bit this war. It was super annoying. It had nothing to do with the war attack time increase or anything like that. It's just the way it worked out. I just preferred to have suicides on for Omega Sentinel. But this is a spot. I'm not using my White Magneto pre-fight here because I need to save them for Mini Island. So I start off with a heavy because I can parry at first, and then I'm just going to bait heavies and heavy counter. I use the Power Star 1 boost here to basically try to get to 3 bars of power ASAP, and I use my falter there to get a longer heavy to ramp up my falter. I'm baiting an SB1 here, and I want to counter his special 1 to put a pause on the spots. And at this point, I just need to bait another heavy, and I'll be at 100, and that's all she wrote for this fight. I popped a 150% mutant boost for this. Spot can block unblockable with this portal, so I didn't feel like doing that, having that pop up in case he happens to block. So I just figured I'll throw it on for this fight. I did my first 3 fights the first day of the war, and then went to bed as the battle group was moving the next day. So that's that spot, and I got a ramp up for X here. It's pretty easy to find fights for Professor X to ramp up on. Next up, we have the Domino, and this is on the heavy unstoppable. So obviously Omega Sentinel works great because there's no crit failure, but Domino still, you have to parry her from a distance, and it still gets kind of difficult, especially when you throw a combo and then you go to block right after. So I start off with a parry to get the Fury up, right? But then she throws a heavy there, so I have to really kind of stay away from her and try not to get cornered. This placement was placed here because the idea is that she's going to throw those heavies, and if you're not careful, then she's going to corner you. So at this point, I'm just really trying to stay away and make sure I get a parry, and then I can do a combo and try to dash away at least. If I were to take this fight again, I would actually just stick to parry heavy and just stay away from her, and that way she's in her corner the majority of the time, and then I throw a special 3 with a Fury up, and I don't have to worry about it. Right there, I shorten my combo just to dash away, a heavy here, and I'm going to throw my special 3, and it's going to do significant damage. So I need to get back into the mindset of really thinking about the fights for war, and what makes them tricky and what not, because I thought about all of this during the fight, and I should have prepped. I just saw Domino, Omega Sentinel, oh, it's cake. But that heavy unstoppable really made it a little trickier. This next fight is this Mantis, and on this node, you want to dash back twice with her heavy, to heavy counter her to knock her down, basically to get the Fury up, because she will fail your parry. I have a White Magneto pre-fight on here, so that should help me parry, but she just gets tricky, and she throws that SB1. Things can go really, really badly. And you do want to remove the prowess on this node. She's gaining prowess just if you don't hit her, so she'll be gaining power per the node, and it's just super annoying. And here she she literally throws an SB1, and I'm like, great. I need to basically clear out that that sleep thing in time. And I throw the special one because I'm thinking that I can get a Fury up and then throw this next special, but that long heavy, and I just don't get it off. Right before, my indestructible saves me from some damage there, but I was hoping to eat a special 3 from her if I pushed her too far up in power. And now I'm like, okay, I need her to throw this special 2. And I'm hitting full combos because I'm using my armor burn to basically keep her under a bar. But you know, she throws that special 2, thank God. And at this point I'm like, okay, I need to get the Fury up before I throw this special 3. And here I'm gonna throw it just to do some damage. And I'm like, I'm just taking so much chip damage. This isn't a 7-star. So ultimately the fight is back under control at this point. And she throws us immediately, and I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what I needed. I needed that to happen, and now all I gotta do is just close out the fight. And she throws that special 1, but I don't really care. She's under 5%. I'm gonna kill her anyway. So, you know, Mantis can do Mantis things. Super annoying. Next up, we have this Kingpin on the Power Snack and Power Sting node, and it's the shared mini opening up the middle. And I have a White Magneto pre-fight here from somebody else, so I'm going to be using Omega Sentinel. And so I didn't use suicides for the spot fight. I threw them on for the next 2 Omega Sentinel fight and this fight, so they are on because I want to be doing more damage sooner than later. And the plan for this fight basically is to keep him at 1 bar of power and bait special 1s, and then not throw any specials. I don't want to throw any specials. My special 3 I can throw if I don't have any power stings on me, but if I push him over a bar with the special 3, which it will, then I'll take the sting damage after. So it has to kill him, or else I'll take a lot of damage. And because of the armor burn node, I'm hitting him, he gains power, and then he loses power and then gains it again in the combo. He stacks a lot of power stings, so you want to be very careful here to not throw specials when you're, you know, when you have those stings up, if you're using an armor burn champ like Omega Sentinel or Viv Vision here, who are both nullify immune for power snacks. So you know, he's going down, you know, fine right here. And at this point I'm like, okay, just you know, just keep going. I'm really debating on whether I should throw a special or not. Right now I have 2 stings and he has way too much health, so I'm not going to do it. But I'm just slowly kind of working my way through, and just make sure I don't get hit with a special 1, because the degen will hurt tremendously. So, you know, just kind of going through it, and just slowly baiting him out, and just taking him down. Here I really did want to throw that special 3, but if in case it didn't kill him, I still have some Omega Sentinel fights and I didn't want to waste potions. But you remember how I said I die, so you know, potions will be used. So next up we have this Killmonger, and this is where I took recoil off, and I'm gonna use Professor X. This is a rank 2. This is KT1's rank 2 Killmonger. It's only SIG 20, but Professor X doesn't take any reverb. But I didn't want to leave recoil on because I didn't want to take any extra damage. I swapped my masteries, so I put points in, you know, some masteries that'll limit bleeds in case I do get some bleeds. But ultimately, I'm going to just parry heavy and heavy counter his special, or his heavy, or his special 1, and push him to 2 bars if possible. That way he doesn't gain those unstoppable charges. Bait out the special 1s, or special 2s, and I'm using my falter here to ramp up my mind control. And at this point I just want to make sure that I throw my special 3 with my Fury up, and with him with no unstoppable, or indestructible charges. So here I'm baiting out his special 2, I'm going to throw a combo to remove those charges, and heavy one more time, but I'm really trying to, you know, get him to come at me so I can do that. I wanted to intercept, and I wanted to be risky there, because if he's dashing at me, he's not going to throw a special one, and I can use my falter basically to intercept him. I didn't need to. I just got a intercept just off the foot, but I am mutant boosted at this point, since I am going to be going through the boss at this point. So I have 3 charges due to the Omega Sentinel synergy for the spot fight. This will put me at max ramp, and this Killmonger is dead at this point. It's just going to take a few special 3s, and that's all she wrote. So relatively easy fight. Killmonger is when you have a good counter for him, so not a problem. Now, next up we have a Kitty on Mighty Charge and Ebb and Flow Intercept. And with Kitty, she on this note, she gains prowess every time she dashes because of Mighty Charge, because it acts as a purify. So she's going to, you know, gain prowess, because that's how the node works. So she's going to give her power. So the plan basically here is to just be aggressive, stay in her face. I can power drain her. And you know, she's gonna throw the special one. I'm like, okay, I didn't really bait that. She just, you know, just friendly and just do it. I get an intercept right there, a light intercept. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing some damage. I'm gonna throw this special 2 and do massive damage. And then I dash back and wait, and she's blocking, but then she throws a special 1 and it incinerates me. And I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. It re-triggers because of her sig, and I die. And I just can't believe it. I was like not worried about that fight at all. And I just replayed it a bunch, and I guess I could have just baited the special 1 instead of gone after it. You know, I've been doing more BGs this past season and a half, and you get in that mindset of ending the fight quicker, and that never was my war mindset. I don't want to blame it on that, but ultimately it's my fault. I needed to be more safe. In war, you have to be safe. You can't give up deaths, and that's the idea 100% of the time. You have to be safe, and call it rust, call it my mistake, call it's all of the above. It's just ultimately on me to play better at this point. 2 deaths in a season. I haven't had 2 deaths in a season since I think I joined for Loki. I'm not sure. I have to go check. But we have this Atuma on the Vigilance Mini, and I have a White Magneto pre-fight that I placed here. I'm using a Power Start 1 boost. So at this point, I just need to get to over 25 so I don't miss in case I'm faltered. And I just need to get to 3 bars of power and end this fight. It has a power reserve, so he's going to build up his hydration if I don't do this fast enough. So I'm almost at 100 charges, almost at 3 bars. I get 1 more heavy here, and I just need another heavy. But I decide to bait this out, and I don't dex the end of this because I always get clipped with it. I can dex that little bubble balloon or whatever it is, but ultimately the fight is over, and that's, you know, it's fine. His thorn damage doesn't affect X because it doesn't make contact with those hits. You just can't get tricky on that node because he can go unstoppable per his kit with all his hydration. So he goes down, and next up we have a Storm X on the Conflictor Mini. Now, my plan for the Conflictor Mini was to basically, I can parry because I have a White Magneto pre-fight, so I don't have to worry about that Conflictor. I'm never going to throw a medium, so I'm not going to trigger that, and I can just kill her with 5-hit combos, and you know, she's going to glance some of it, but I put recoil back on for this, so I took it off for Killmonger, on for Kitty, off for Atuma, on for Storm Pyramid X, and I'm like, okay, what I want to do is basically beta SB1 and medium into a special 3. Yeah, so I can get 6 Incinerates, so I can trigger Conflictor, and then I can get the Incinerates off the cooldown. But what I was doing in the fight was essentially the same thing. I basically did a medium, pushed her over a bar, then baited at SB1. But by the time, we'll see how this plays out. By the time I can get to throw my special 3, because her special 1's so long, Conflictor already resets. So I make a decision at one point to throw it and just end the fight with combo hits. But here you see the fight just started, first 20 seconds, and she's down to about 20%, 25 seconds, right? And I'm like, okay, this is going perfectly fine. She's still getting that puncture, but there's no prowess attached. So all I have to make sure is that I don't get a cold snap on me from her. This is a mini boss, and she's a 7-star, so it is gonna hurt. So here she throws this, and right about now is when I'm trying to figure out, like, when am I going to throw the double medium, right? So there, I push her over. This would be a perfect spot, right? She throws this. And here, I should have parried and medium. It would have pushed her over a bar. My problem was that I didn't want to actually push her to two bars. And this node at this tier gives her like almost a full bar of power with Conflictor. So I was like, okay, I just need to get her emptied completely. Like here, I think I throw, no, not here. I want to bait this. And then I think after this, I'm going to do a medium, because I'm like, okay, how much time? She's at 50%, and it's almost the halfway point. So there I throw a medium. She shrugs it with Conflictor. And I was trying to throw it. You see me hitting, like, you see me blocking and stuff because I wanted to throw it. But Conflictor reset, and I'm like, man, she's going to be over a bar. Just kill her. Just kill her with basics at this point. She's at 40%. And then that'll be that. Looking at that now, I think I could have actually done a medium and thrown it, and she still would have been under 2 bars. So maybe if I see her again on this node, I'll do that. I'll rewatch the fight again and see. But it's the halfway point at this point in the fight, and she's at 27%. I'm not worried, so I just got to make sure that I don't slip up and get caught with her special 1, and the fight should be over basically. So I didn't use any tech boosts. I could have if it would have kind of sped things up, because throwing some special 3s would have sped things up. And here I throw this basically just to end it, and it does. The fight is over. So next up is the boss, and the boss is a Korg boss. I just rewatched one of my fights from last season. I took a few Korg bosses, so I wasn't really too worried. The plan was basically to use a power start 1. I'm going to beta heavy. I have Horseman on. I got that at Atuma. Shout out to Tree for dropping that for me. That lets me have my bleed on. It's not needed. It's just nice to have. But of course, I'm gonna throw on the tracking debuff, because that does a whole lot of good for me. Here I throw my own wags, so that's placed. And I have some Odin buffs on here. But yeah, the plan is to beta heavy, and then just combo, and then backdraft and combo again to get his shield down. And all I have to basically do is beta SB1 or an SB2 if I can push him there. So he throws that, I'm gonna block it because it's not unblockable. And I'm use my falter at that point. That's like perfect. He throws that special 1, and I just block it, and then I use my falter to ramp up. I'm already at 75. So I'm like, all right, perfect. I just need to get him to 2 bars of power, and then I throw my special 3 to basically end the fight. But I need to be at 100 charges first. So I don't have my falter backup, and right here it resets, so I can use it, and I get to 100. I'm like, perfect. He starts hitting me, so I use that as an opening, and at this point, I'm like, all right, his rock shield's going to be down, so I just want to beta heavy so I can dash away at him. That's it. I don't want him to throw his special because I want to keep his power, because that increases the potency of my special, my prowess effects. So he throws this. He is at 90% health at this point, but it doesn't really matter. The fight is essentially over. and I throw that first special, and it does, you know, about 40%, and then I throw another special 3, and this cork is obviously just going to go down. This gets into, I think, under 20, and the last one, I just wait a second between SB3s just to make sure that my power back is going to register, and this one kills him. So tough war for me, especially since I died that first war, and then I died this war. I really need to kind of clean things up, and it's just stuff, you know, it's not a matchup, it's not a counter mistake, it's just my gameplay, and it just sucks to die. I know in our alliance we're not hounding anybody about, you know, deaths all the time. We want to have fun first and foremost, and we want to, you know, try new champs and do that, but we do want to win. And you see New Nation actually had a hard time. They had 12 deaths, we had 17, so, you know, it was a rough war all the way around. Maybe Rust and the off-season, the long off-season is just happening everywhere. Shout out to MVPs, Karate Mike, Vacuum, and I got one. I don't think I deserve one. But ultimately, you know, we got to do better, and that's all we can try to do moving forward. And that's what we'll do. So we will see you guys in the next one.